Lord, we thank you in advance. Get ready, ready, get ready.
On IntellectualRadio.com, iHeartRadio station. I want to say happy Friday, happy inauguration day. I hope everybody is getting some sleep. Just remember, no matter who president is, God is in control. He's always in control. President don't make anything. He doesn't make you who you are. God does. President give you anything. God gave it to you. I want to say good God morning to all the listeners, all the followers. I am excited about another day. I want to thank God Almighty for giving me this opportunity because without Him, nothing would come. I just want to let everyone know that I'm looking for sponsors. I'm looking for featured guests. If you're interested, please go to my website at Corey Wright, period, wixsite.com/my site. Or you can also follow me on Twitter at Corey Joseph Wright at Twitter. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Minister Corey Wright on Instagram. Leave all information and I will contact you as soon as I have a chance to. I want to say good God morning to every mother and every mother who is taking care of kids, that is taking care of kids on their own. Just want to let you know that the solutions care, and that even though it might not always be somebody that'll help you, that child will carry what you do every day. So I want to salute all the strong moms. I want to salute all the strong dads. I want to salute all the strong moms. Like I had a great mom, and I have a great mom, and I thank God for her. She's an amazing lady. And I just wanted to say that. Now let's get into the topics today, because the show title today is Turning Off the Liar, the greatest lie outside the devil, which is yourself. Now, as always, my motto is that we know the problems. We know what we need to solve them. We need solutions. That's dedicated acts of action that bring about true change, not just talked about change. And today, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check our results. That's how you measure if you're lying to yourself, by your results. You have to have a conversation with your reality and with your results. Now, the first thing I want to deal with that we lie about so much to ourselves is with our time. And I want to pose a scenario to you. If the doctor came to you today and said you only have 24 hours to live, would you look at people the same way? Would you look at your situation the same way? Would you care about the same things that you do? Would you even take care of yourself the same way you take care of yourself if the doctor said you only had 24 hours to live? But what if the doctor said somebody else had 24 hours to live? There are so many people you don't call. I'm going to reach out to this person. I'm going to do it today. And they end up dying. And the crazy part about that is you go to the funeral and you just fall out. Oh, Lord, give him 5 minutes. If I have 2 more minutes, we'll bring him back, Lord. Give him back. So what? So you can ignore them again or not show them the time you had before? People, call those people the day that you haven't talked to. Tell somebody you love them. Show them emotion. Show them affection, because you actually may only have 24 hours to live. God never told you when you're going to take your last breath. You cannot take your time for granted. Stop lying to yourself about your time. You do not have the time you think you do. There is not always a tomorrow. God gives us a new lease on life, but He doesn't have to. He never promised us when we will meet the grim reaper. So if you're not promised, you have to make the time to show people you love them. I go see my mom every day. I don't care if I work a double at work. I got to go see her and say, how you doing? There's a lot of people I can't see every day. I work a lot. Sometimes I'm mandatory to work, so I can't see my kids, but I will call them. I will let them know I love them. Every time I'm on the phone with them, I love you, because if that's the last time you ever talk to me, you know I love you. So quit lying about your time and make the time to show love. If you don't make time, Don't cry chicken tears at a funeral, because I've seen somebody at a funeral who lost his mom. God rest her soul. He didn't cry not one tear, because he knew he showed his mom every bit of love he could while she was awake. Give people their roses while they are awake. They're not promised tomorrow. Love them today. Reconcile with them today. There are broken relationships where you think you have the time. Reconcile today. There are ministers and ministries and people who have hard feelings. I'm going to tell anybody out there listening, I've ever offended you, I apologize. You have a national apology from me, because you know why? Because you're not promised tomorrow. And if you never hear me say that I'm sorry if I offended you, I am going to say that today, because tomorrow is not promised to you. Stop lying to yourself about your time. My next point is stop lying to yourself about relationships. There are people that stand together who never accomplished anything, but they stand together because they love each other, or they have a physical attraction to each other, but they have not accomplished anything. It is not bad if somebody you can't get along with. Everything fits. Let me give you a scenario. I wear size 12 shoes. If somebody gave me a size 10 Michael Jordan Space Jam edition, $250 shoes, I would be so thankful for that. I would be very thankful for that. But unfortunately, I can't wear them because I wear size 12. It doesn't mean that they're not Michael Jordans. It doesn't mean they're not valuable. It doesn't mean that they're not good gym shoes. They just don't fit my feet. And that's how some people are. They are good men and women of God. They are good, amazing people of God. They are good people, period. They just don't fit where you're going, and they don't fit what you want to do. So you have to make up in your mind and be honest with yourself that I love this person. I love them, but also be honest with your financial situation, because there are a lot of people that stay in relationships. They know that this is not the right person, but they're the right financial situation. They give them a quality of life that they've never had, but it doesn't matter, because every time you stay in a place that you're not meant to be, you lose yourself, and you wake up 40 years and wonder, who am I? Why am I here? What am I made of? Where am I going? A lot of times you're in the wilderness because you don't understand who you are, who God made you. Get out of that wilderness and find out who God made you. Don't stay in a relationship that goes nowhere. And you can tell by the relationship, if it's going to go somewhere, it's what you have, what you accomplish. There are too many people in relationships that's competing with each other. And we'll be honest with that. You can never grow a household competing with each other. It has to be competing with each other, not against each other. So many people are competing against each other, not understanding that I take pride in you making it if you take pride in me making it. If you succeed, I succeed. If you go out and do something great, the whole house do something great. But if you don't do nothing great, and I don't care about you doing nothing great or hold you accountable for doing nothing great, I am lying to myself. I am lying to myself. How can I get an attitude in my own house against somebody not doing something I want to do and I'm not doing the same thing? If you're broke and I'm broke, you're no broker than I'm broke. I have no reason to tell you broke. We're in the same situation. So we need to put these two things right here, these nuggets together, and find out how we going to get money together. Do not lie about your relationship. And let me tell you something. It is not easy, because there are some people, and there were some people I loved. I really loved them, and probably still love them today. That I was, into them, but there was nothing that we can do together that ever amounted to anything. It wasn't that they were bad people. A lot of times I'm forcing them to be what they're not, and they're forcing me to be what they're not. But again, I had to be honest about that. The door is meant for the right person to go through. You cannot take the bad person through. That door is meant for a 200-pound person to go through, not a 400-pound person. You can push them through the door. You can run into them with a bulldozer. They're not getting through that door because they're not designated to go that door. God has assigned somebody to you for your assignment, not for your pleasure. Let me say that again, for your assignment. You are not giving the person in your life for your pleasure. You're giving to them assignment. You know, the greatest regret I've always had about bad relationships is the potential of it. The potential of the person I was with. What could have been accomplished if we worked together? That is the greatest pain that I've always had in a relationship, because I've always choose people off their ability, their potential, what they could be. But it always pained me that two people who in love couldn't come together and accomplish anything. The people that make all the money is the divorce lawyers. They make all the money because they tear apart your assets because you couldn't work together. And people that's been divorced multiple times, they pay multiple lawyers that made multiple money. Believe me, it is so right to ask God to choose your mate, to be honest, because he know what he put in you. He know what he has for you to do. So he'll pick you a mate that will complement your call. I don't care if that person is your wife. I am not an advocate for divorce. I am not saying leave that person, but you know what God called you to do. You know what God needs you to do. If that person is dead weight on you, they're stopping and hindering your call. They have to be gone. I'm sorry, but they have to be gone. Stop lying to yourself. That relationship is not getting better. If he raised his hand to you, he's going to raise his hand again. If he physically abused you or mentally abused you or she mentally abused you, and believe it or not, some men get beat up by women, so some men get abused. He will do it again. They will prolong it so that they can be forgiven, but they will do it again. You have to be honest with yourself. You are more. You are wonderfully made. God made you great. Don't let nobody ever put you down and tell you that you're not worth nothing. If they do, you need to be away from them. They are not with you. Now, they might help you get through a season, but when they season up, they got to go. See ya. It's not personal, but you are not supposed to be here. Your weight needs to be gone, because when God takes it, he takes the weight of it. Too many people are riding on your backs because you're not honest about them. If people gonna lie to you and you gotta go through a whole spiel about trusting them, then you're not supposed to be with them. You're lying to yourself because you don't want to let them go. So you see the good in them when the bad. I'm gonna tell you something, and this is a harsh reality, and everybody might not agree with me, but there are so many people God showed you who they was in the beginning. You didn't believe it, and you got told, you got your face tore out because you didn't believe it. God showed you. The Bible gave us a GPS called the Holy Spirit. God gave us the Holy Spirit. He gave us the gift of discernment. 9 times out of 10, them little hairs stand up. I don't have any hair but the little head that I got stand up and tell me this person ain't no good. I stood next to a person one day and I felt their coldness. I got away from them. I didn't want them from the restaurant. I got out of there because something was up with that person. 6 months later, I seen that person on news wanted for murder. See, God will show you. And listen, don't lie. Don't let somebody's body, don't let somebody's beauty lie to you. There are some beautiful, ugly people. There are some people that are gorgeous outside, but on the inside, they are ugly. They want to be the victim. They want to complain all the time. You know, don't nobody do this for me. Don't nobody do that for them. And can't nobody steal no stone, no strong woman. Can't nobody do. Man, listen, I want a woman of God. You know, I want a woman that's going to put me in my right place. I'm going to put her in her right place so we both can put God in the right place. I don't want nobody. If you're too strong for you, then you stay strong by yourself. Because it's sometimes, if you really honestly, there's a reason why you by yourself. Because, see, the Bible said you would rather live on the edge of a rooftop than a house full of strife. Don't nobody want to come home and fight the world and come home and fight you. It is impossible. Why do you want to fight every single day? The fight is outside the house, not in the house. If you come home to no peace, you have no peace and you're fighting. So don't lie to yourself about a relationship. Don't lie to yourself about what you need in a relationship. Let God choose. God will choose the right person according to purpose. Everybody you choose. That's why my first date with anybody's church. Because I'm sitting in church like, Lord, is this the one? You know, let me see something red on my face or something. Let the choir sing my favorite song or something to know it's up. Because if you know, I'll hit nothing, something wrong. Because how can I be your soulmate if I ain't caring about your soul being saved? I'm going to say that again. How can I be your soulmate if I don't care about your soul being saved? It is impossible. I cannot love you if I don't love God. If I'm not real to God, I cannot be real to you. You want to judge a person how they're going to be to you? See how they serve God. They're not serving God right, then they're going to serve you right. You ain't nothing compared to God. So if they're not doing what they're supposed to do to God, tithes. If they ain't going to pay what they're supposed to pay to God, you really think they're going to pay your bills? They're going to pay your electric bill. They're going to pay your gas bill. I'm sorry, you're going to be sitting in the dark freezing because this person ain't paid their tithes. Now, tithes is the only place in the Bible that God said try him, that he'll open up a window of heaven. But most people don't pay their tithes. But then they wonder why I'm always without, why I'm always struggling. I pay my tithes. I ain't struggled once. I'm doing good. I got overtime. I got turned down overtime. Well, other people can't find a job. I got to turn down overtime because you pay your tithes. If you don't pay your tithes, you're not faithful to God. You're not going to be faithful to anybody else. Let me go to the next point. Stop lying to yourself about your job. I don't care if you work overtime 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You're never going to be where you at unless you own your own business, unless you have your own service, unless you're doing what it is you need to do to have your own service. You can work tons of overtime, but if you're not your own business, you're not working towards your own business, you're not working towards the growth, you are lying to yourself. You will always be just over broke. I don't care how long you work. You can keep working. You can keep working. Well, I'm going to retire. Look at people like Imran. They retired. They had nothing. They blew all their money. Don't ever think that you got security in a job. I love my job, but I work against my job in the fact that I work towards being my own business owner. Not that I don't thank God for my job, but I know that's just a stepping stone. That's not my destination. That's not where I'm going. So I take the energy, negative or positive, from my job, and I work towards growing as a man of God, but as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, somebody who wants to be somebody more than just being a time clock, being an asset to a company. Because you think about this. What they pay you is a fraction of what they get paid for you being there. You're a body. You're an asset. You're not even a human being to them. They can get rid of you and have 40 people ready for a city job. How valuable is that? But if you got your own company, you got your own name, you got something to pass on to your kids. They're part of a legacy. They're part of a tradition. That's why I used to love when Pastor Robert Sams II, which I'm going to have him on the show, used to always say that there's a standard. There is a standard to being a Sams. You can't just say or do anything. This is one of the greatest dressing brothers I've ever seen in my life. And I know he watching. This guy can dress his behind off. But see, he got that standard from his parents, who are amazing people. They always dress. I've never seen this. This man can wear gym shoes with a suit jacket and still look sharp. I told him when I lose weight, I want one of his suit jackets. But see, he said he got to live up to a standard of being a Sams. I want to create the same exact legacy. When somebody say you're a right boy, you're a right son, you're a right kid, I want to make sure you know your dad is an amazing speaker. Your dad this. You know what? You got a legacy to hold up. You know, he cared about people. I want you to care about people. There's a legacy that you have to live that so your kids can live. So I admire that, brother. So don't ever think that you're going to be financially set at a job. I used to always say, man, I want to become a supervisor. You know what? If I come or not, I'm still going to be a great man of God. I'm going to still be great. And if I get an opportunity, I get an opportunity. If I don't, because you know why? Owning my own, I can't get fired. Owning my own, I can take a vacation when I get ready to vacation. I can make as much money as I want to work. Much overtime I work on my business, I'm going to reap all the benefits. I'm going to I'm going to reap that harvest like amazing. But I'm going to have an inheritance to leave to my kids. So many people die broke, leave their kids with nothing. They die broke with a bill. That's the last thing they give them. Give them a bill. You know, pay for my funeral. How many people die without insurance? You know, people who die without nothing because they figured that I'm going to make it on somebody's job. You're making it on somebody's job. Somebody's job is a great way, but it's a well maneuvered place of slavery. It is a place of slavery. You know, not saying that it's slave mentality, but you are on their time. They tell you how much you're going to make. They tell you how much they'll get raised. They'll tell you, I got a raise of 1%. So you tell me if I got $100, I'm gonna give you $1 raise. So I tell you what, the next month you got a whopping $1.01. Woo! I guess I'm gonna go buy that house on the Riviera. Not give me $100 raise, give me a double raise. Then we talking. Then I might want to stay at their job. But if you want to give me a 1%, I'm thankful. God, thank you for that. Don't get me wrong. But I know the solution is I want to be my own business owner. That way I can help people with opportunities. If I own my own business, I don't have to tell people where they go find a job. Here, come and work for me. You know, you want something to eat, therefore, man, Corey, I need to borrow $5. I need to borrow $20 or borrow $200. I don't loan money. I've never loaned money because I believe as a Christian, it's my obligation to put you in a better situation than you've been in. So I cannot put you in a better situation you've been in if you got to now pay me back with money you didn't have to pay your own first bills. So I'm going to give you money. Therefore, I might not give you the $200 you asked me, but I'll give you the $100 that you don't have to pay back. So you're halfway where you need to be at. But if I got a job and I got a business and I own a business, somebody said, well, I need $500. Okay, fine. Let me give you a job to make that money. Or somebody out on the street say, well, you know what? I don't have anything. Okay, let me let you make some money. Let me let you make some money. So therefore, you're not a charity. You earn your money because I don't want to take your dignity. So many people, when they need your help, they take your dignity. I will never take anybody's dignity. I told my brother-in-law one day, he said, man, I need some money. Let me wash your car. I said, no, I'll give it to you anyway because you don't have to wash my car because you're a man. You don't have to take your integrity. I will never make somebody feel inferior because they need me to bless them. If I'm going to bless them because it's God's anyway. God blessed me with something, so why would I want to make somebody lose their dignity because I gave it to them? Woo! So now, what's the solution? The solution is start being quiet and let your actions speak for themselves. Your actions have a voice of its own. You don't have to say words because the Bible said you could tell a tree by the fruit it's bearing. So if it's fruit around it, good fruit, and people eating, then you know you a good tree. But if you are a barren tree with nothing, then you know there's something wrong with that tree. You're an olive tree you're a tree where God said nothing is gonna grow there no more. It's gonna die. You're that kind of tree. But if you are a tree of God, you will bear good fruit. You don't have to profess what kind of fruit you got. People will see it. They will see it by your works. You know, I ain't never been into titles, doctor, reverend, so-and-so, the good doctor, so I don't, you know what? That don't impress me. What impressed me is who's been saved because you've been saved. What impressed me is who's been delivered since you've been delivered. What impressed me is who life has you changed since you've been a man or woman of God. That don't tell you because you're a doctor. I got a doctor's arm, or I'm pastor of this place, or I'm the head of this conference. Big deal. Whatever. It's not impressive. Who cares? Who has been saved from the grassroots? Who have been saved from drugs? You have to be honest with yourself. The thing that I want people to really get right now is to be honest about your storm. Be honest about your storm. Some people are in the middle of a storm and they're not honest about it because they learn how to survive the storm. But you will survive the storm. But be honest about your storm. You are a plane, and here's the scenario. You are a plane in the sky of a storm. And Jesus is the lighthouse. He's the tower. And Jesus is giving you 3 instructions as a plane. Now, these are the 3 type of instructions he give you in life. When you face a storm, the tower tells the airplane to either go above the storm, so you will miss it. And some of you people, you have to learn to fly above petty people, petty storms, and petty situations. You have to learn how to fly above it. Now, the second thing the tower will tell the plane is you got to put on your seatbelts and go through the storm. Some of you guys got to buckle up, put your seatbelt on, and realize that I got to go through this storm. I got to go through this addiction. I got to go through this financial burden. I got to go through this, and I'm going to survive. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to put my seatbelts of love on that God is. God is the seatbelt of love. He'll hold me fast so that I won't hurt through the turbulence of the situation. So he's going to strap me into who he made me, and I'm going to go right through the storm, and I'm going to go through it. Now, here is the part. The third way that they teach a plane how to go through the storm. This is the one that nobody likes. But sometimes the tower will tell you to drop below the storm. See, sometimes people don't want to drop below, but sometimes you got to learn how to shut up. Sometimes you got to learn how to shut up. Sometimes you got to learn how to humble yourself. I am going to go beneath the storm. Matter of fact, sometimes it ain't even worth saying something. Sometimes you got to say, you know what? Hey, you know what? I'm going to add more fuel to the fire if I say something. You know what? I ain't going to say it. It's just like you saying something smart to a man with a gun and he called you a punk. I'm going to be a punk that day because I ain't going to say nothing to you. You got a gun, even if you didn't have a gun, because my response gives you power. But if I don't respond to it, I used to always tell my mom, my mom is an amazing woman, but I thought when I was young, my mom was passive. Because there were things that people would say about me and come right to my mom and say it. And my mom wouldn't give it no power. And I'd be like, wait a minute, man. My mom, wait a minute, mom, you kind of, backing up now. You got to come with it. But my mom said what I did was diffuse it because I didn't give it no power. I gave it no response. I gave it no power. Now that I'm older, now that I have kids, now that I work for the government, now that I do a lot of things, now that I've learned, okay, you know what? There's more power in my silence than my fight. Because anybody can fight, That's why I don't understand these people out here protesting against Trump. He's the president now. Like he's bigger than God. But see, they don't worry about protesters. See, they don't worry about people out there making a lot of noise. They worry about people that's creating solutions and jobs and programs that's bringing money into the community. You can march all day. You can holler all day. He don't care. He's still going to be president. He's still going to be a Trump trial. Now, what are you going to do to change your community? Because you know what? All that marching ain't going to change the killing in our community. You want to march? Let's march on these corners. Let's march against our own people who perpetuate the violence. Let's come on there. Let's do that. Because see, Trump, whatever Trump does, it's going to affect you in the long run. But what you're doing to your own communities is affecting you right now. March then. You can't do nothing about it. I don't want Barack to leave, but he's got to leave today. Trump is going to be the president. What are you going to do now? It is up to you. But let me get back on solution. Stop lying to yourself about the way you think you're helping people. You can never help nobody by forcing them to do something. And you will never love something you force to love you. I don't care if you got the greatest job, you got the greatest money, you're a millionaire. Yeah, you're a millionaire and you can get a lot of people that want you for your money and your status. But if you force them to love you, they're going to get everything they can from you. There's a lot of people lying to themselves, trying to make people stay because they know they're in a bad financial situation. So you hold what you have over their head. They're just buying their time. There's a lot of people say, I can't believe he left me when he got off. He wanted to leave you anyway. She wanted to leave you anyway. She couldn't do it. She had the means. So you use what you had over them. And as soon as they break, they were gone. I guarantee you, if you go to a bunch of families, and this is the truth, and you gave them a way out, you tell this person, listen, you happily married, and they'll be like, oh, it's okay, or you don't have, here, I'll give you 100,000. Matter of fact, I'll give you 2 million right now to start over. You know how many people break their neck out the door and take that 2 million? See ya. I see you. There's a YouTube video where they did a prank on this man. They said that he won $2 million, and it was just a prank phone call. He went off on his wife. He said, I beat you while you sleep. And he said, I slept with your sister and I did all that just to find out that the ticket was a fake. So you done told everything. I tell anybody, you want to test somebody's honesty to themselves, give them some power. When you give them power, you'll see the real them. Power makes the real people come out. Everybody is lying to you. They have an audition tape until you give them power. Once they have power, you will see the worst of them. You will see the true them. Because see, when people got power, they feel that they can do what they couldn't do. That's why you got a lot of these police overzealous to shoot somebody, overzealous to beat somebody up, because they were chumps when they were young. They were getting their milk money taken. They were getting beat up every day. So when they got a badge and a gun, I'm tough now, so I'm going to beat up everyone I can, and I'm going to make everybody feel my badge instead of feeling my presence as a police officer. A badge doesn't make you great. A badge doesn't give you power. It just gives you authority, but the power comes from within, because a true hero is one that does the same thing a coward does, but it keeps doing it. It doesn't mean that a hero is not afraid like a coward is. A coward does nothing. A hero is scared to death, but he do it. You can't tell me that those firefighters that go into those buildings, they go to rescue people, they're not scared. They're not thinking that this might be the last day. They scared, but they got a job and an obligation to save somebody's life. You have a obligation to yourself to save your own life. Now let's get into some real things. There are two ways that you can deceive yourself. Two ways. One is when you believe something that's not true, or the other way is refusing to believe what is true. Some people believe the truth. Some people believe these coulda, woulda, shoulda, gonna do people. There are some people that they'll sell you swampland and tell you it's the French Riviera. And nothing wrong with believing in people. I'm a man of faith, but I'm also a man of substance. I am a man of tangible things. I don't believe in tangible things, but show me. Show me. I need to see for myself. Show me. Don't tell me what you're doing. You could tell me all day, I love you, I would do anything for you, but then when I need you, you gone. No. I need to see it. I need to see it. Oh man, I love you. No, you don't. You love yourself. You just want to make sure you got connection to me to get what you need. But some people won't believe that truth. Some people won't believe that people will take from you. Some people won't believe that people will cheat on you, even though they caught them cheating. Some people have caught phone calls, and there was a song, Shaggy song, he said, "Wasn't me." Some people believe it wasn't me. Some people want to believe the best anyway. But when you believe the best, even if it's the lie, when you believe a lie, it will come back and haunt you. It will take and rob you of the years of the things that God had for you. It will rob you of that. Another thing is not believing the truth. There are some people that will not believe the truth. There are some debaters that will argue you. They will argue to God. There are people who argue with God about what God is. There are people who will not believe the truth anyway. That's why you got so many religions. So many people believe that, but you can't test my testimony. There was a lot of things people say, well, this makes sense, that makes sense. My mom, when I was 8 years old, I went to Common Sea Missionary Baptist Church on 83rd and King Drive. My mom broke her leg. This is the first miracle I ever seen. My mom broke her leg. She could not walk without crutches. And there was another older lady in her 80s who didn't walk in years. Her name was Mother Holmes. Didn't walk in years. And I was there that day, 8 years old. And the Reverend, his name was Reverend Rayford. And I remember him telling my mom and telling Mother Holmes, if you believe in God, you get up and walk. My mom was walking. My mom was walking to church. I'll never forget that. Now, there is nothing you can tell me that'll make sense about that besides it was Jesus and it was a miracle. She was walking the church. You cannot tell me that you can make sense of that, because some things you can't make sense of. She was walking the church. The other lady was walking the church, ain't walked in years. God rest her soul now. She was walking to church. Believe me, there are some things that you cannot deny the truth. I don't care what your religious background. I don't care what your perspective. When God created a miracle, you cannot deny it. I will not deny it. When my son was born, my baby boy, he's 8 years old. When he was born, I'm going to tell you about a miracle. I'm going to share this miracle with you. He was born. I was going to Living Word Christian Outreach College out in the south suburbs. And his mom was picking me up. She was picking me up with her cousin who had a baby son. He was about a little under a year. And my son and her son was sitting in baby seats next to each other, and she was sitting in the back with them. And I was going to drive, and my son mom was she was in the driver's side. And my sister said, "Let me keep your son. Let me keep your son. You know, let me spend some time with your son. Let me keep your son." So we left my son Kyron with my sister, and we just took myself, his son, his mom, and her cousin with her baby. And we pulled up on 63rd and Richmond, right in front of Golden Fish. And these two guys got into an argument, and the guy pulled out a gun and started shooting. Now, he's shooting at the guy in the direction of the vehicle I'm in. And we could not pull off. There was nowhere for me to go. There was nowhere for us to go. He shot, and you could hear. So I turned to shield my son mom, and I turned the opposite way. Not that I'm brave or nothing, but if it's my time, I don't want to see it coming. God knows my soul. But I figured that my son needed her more than he needed me, because, you know, your kids need your mom. So I shielded her, and I said, "Listen, if your face gonna be the last one I see, tell my kids that I gave my life trying to save somebody's life." And we heard the tinking, ting, ting, ting. So I couldn't block her cousin nor the baby. And we heard the ting, 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 ting. So he ran after he shot. I said, "Well, am I hit? Am I hit? Nobody hit. Everybody okay? The baby okay?" So we drove to the school. When we got to the school, we got out the car, and we seen that bullets had went through the car. There was a bullet that went directly into the car from the back driver's side door that should have went right into the baby stroller. It should have went right into the baby car seat, because he was fitted in the car seat so he couldn't move. It went right then and there. So we were looking for the bullet. Here's the thing that's going to blow you away. People of God, catch this, rejoice. I'm going to rejoice. I am rejoicing. I am getting emotional about this. Here is the miracle behind that. When her cousin lifted the baby out, he was sitting on the bullet. He was sitting on a bullet. There was no bullet hole in the car seat. There was no bullet hole in the seat. There was no bullet hole anywhere. So what I believe happened was the angel of God took the bullet. He stopped the bullet. Now, when he stopped the bullet, to show everybody that it was his grace and mercy in the car and that there's nobody like him, he placed the bullet underneath the baby without moving him. He never moved the baby. The bullet, we held the bullet in our hand. There was no explanation why that bullet was underneath the baby, but it was. Now, this past Christmas, I went to go visit my son because I wanted to see the gifts he opened up, and I went over my son mom's house with them, and everybody was over there. And that young man, Ryan, was there. I have not seen him since he was a kid. To him walk up to me and say, "Hi, I'm Ryan. It's good to meet you. How you doing?" Shake my hand. I had to leave immediately and go in the car and cry. And I cried like a baby, because I thank God that you saved that baby life. And I told her and I told him that you got a great purpose in life, so great that God saved your life. And this last miracle, I'm sorry I got into miracles, but I got to boast about how good God is, because if God has saved your life, then you need to be happy. You need to boast about it. I'm going to boast about it. I want to tell you one more story, and I'm going to say about Pastor Robert Sams II. He told us a story about him walking on 79th Street, whereas somebody was shooting, and they were shooting, and obviously he didn't get hit. He went home. He had bullet holes in the back of his shirt, through his shirt, and in the front of his shirt. But when he took his shirt off, he had no holes in him. God saved his life for that powerful ministry he has now. And if God has saved your life from a cancer, from a bullet wound, he saved your life. He saved your life for a reason. It don't belong to you. You are obligated, dedicated to serve him for the rest of your life, because he saved your life. Woo! Somebody better give God praise right where you at, because he saved your life. He created miracles. I couldn't tell you how many car accidents I've been in or how many times I've been shared from bullets. I love God. He's an awesome God. He's an amazing God. You better give him praise. Now, let me go into another thing. There are some people who are lying to themselves about their addictions. Just because you got a hold on something don't mean that you can deal with it. Just ask Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston went from one of the greatest singers to the world, and drugs destroyed her. You are lying about your addiction, and you are lying about the fact that you don't need help. You have to first admit it to yourself that I am an addict, I am an alcoholic, I am a drug user, I need help. But drugs is not always weed. You know, there are some people addicted to food. I was a sugarholic, a sugar addict. I was 405 pounds. I want to eat everything, and I had to eat everything in twos. You could not give me a hot dog. I needed two. You can give me a hamburger. I needed two. I had to have double. Give me double, triple. I want onions, bacon. I want everything. Those are addictions. People, do not lie to yourself about your health. Cigarette smoking will kill you. Don't sit up there and say that I am healed and I'm fine, because cigarettes are hurting. Alcohol is hurting you. It might not hurt you today, and you might go 20 years, but it will catch up from you. There are so many people. I've seen a commercial where they're talking to that little thing in their mouth from lung cancers, from smoking. You know, there are people who cigarette is killing them every single day. What do you have to lose for you to wake up and say you need to put it down? I need to put the needle down. I need to put the cigarettes down. I need to put the alcohol down. What do you have to lose? Because the greatest thing you'll lose is your life. See, once you take that last breath, ain't no and ifs. There ain't no, okay, I'm going to get it right. You got to make a conscious today that I am going to change my life today. Stop lying about that. Another thing, let me make a little light of this. Stop lying about your service to God. Stop lying about your faithfulness. Stop lying about it. You're the only one I know that I do everything in the church. Okay, if you do everything in the church, then here, let me give you a crown right now because you done got your rewards. Stop lying about your service. Stop lying about your gifts. God gave me a gift of spirit. He gave me a gift of speaking. I can speak. I'm not a singer. I'm tired of people grabbing microphones, singing solos, and you know you can't sing. I was at a funeral one day, we crying, and all of a sudden this lady get up and sing this bad solo. No. The crying turned to laughter. You know, she thought people was crying because they said we lost somebody. We crying because we want you to stop singing. Stop grabbing the microphone on, leave search on, you can't sing. I know it's all music God is because it's sincere, but you're not called to sing. Everybody's not called to preach. Everybody want to get up there and preach. Talk about what they've been through. Talk about their life. Talk about the word of God. Let's get to the word. Let's get to, give me a dedicated action so I can be a better man in God. I can be a better Christian. Stop getting up there, get on there. Well, I don't know what the lesson is, but I thank God for bringing me this. And if God brought me out of here, bring me. We know that. We already know grace and mercy. God has already shown us that. Tell us something about the word. Going deep into the word. Go deep into understanding. Let me get a greater understanding, God. Let's talk about the spirit. Let the spirit fill you up. Don't sit up there and mumble all day. I've watched preachers preach a sermon for 2 hours, ain't said nothing. And then you know they run out of words. They start singing their sermon. Whoa, yeah, did he do it? He'll do it for you. And you ain't did nothing. He ain't said nothing. Come on. We have too many illiterate churches. We have people that know the word by hearing it, but don't know the word by reading because nobody's teaching them the word. Stop lying about your service. Stop lying about your gifts. Everybody can't teach. You know, some people are meant to be ushers. Ushers are a great job. Some people are meant to be deacons. You know, ain't no wrong with it. I'll be an usher. You know, because therefore I'm welcoming you to the house of God. What better job you can have than welcoming somebody into the house of God? Let me welcome you to the hospital. You know, to me, especially if you sick, the greatest person in the hospital is the registration person. Because I'm going to welcome you. Let me get you checked in so that you can get what you need to get healed. You know? And don't think that you always got to preach in a church. Don't think you always need a congregation to preach. You know what? Be a ambulance. Be a paramedic for God. Be a paramedic. Go out there and get the sick. The sick always don't make it to the hospital. They call 911. We send an ambulance out there. Be a holy ambulance. You know, bring people to the holy stroller. See, I love stroller because stroller got to take you anyway. And that's how the church should be. Take anybody, bring them in, because you might be the change. Don't sit up there and always pick and choose your members. I don't think this member. The church is for the sick. Is there Bob McGillian? Is there a doctor? The church is for the sick, not for the well. I will never understand this. If God blesses me to be a pastor, I will never sit the ministers on the front row. Because you already saved. I need to sit the people that need to be saved and need a word of God, need hands laid on them. I'm going to sit them in front. I am not going to sit them in the back. There was a conference at a church one day that they had a great speaker coming in, and they had the first 4 rows taped off. Because those for the ministers and the members to sit. How in the world you expect to get new membership? Heaven is rejoicing off of one soul being saved. Then 99 already saved. So why do they have to go through the group of people that's already saved? I never understood ministers who on their pulpit, they got 47 ministers standing up there. How many people need to be ministered to? Go out there and speak to the world. Wait for their turn to come in. Don't wait for your turn. Go make your turn. Be truthful about your gifts. Clear that front roll out. Sit the sinners there. Sit the people that need help there. Don't sit the ministers there. I understand the ministers, when you have the doors of the church, they want to stand up. Okay, they come from where they had to stand up. You need to be the front row. I will never, ever be pastor of a church that the first 5 rows ain't for visitors, ain't for people that need God. We all need God, don't get me wrong, but for the people that need to be saved, I will never allow that. Because I don't want the same old people, same up there hollering. I need some new people hollering. I need some new people saved. Let's make heaven have a rejoice, have a party, because we're bringing in new souls day after day after day. Not sitting all them old members and ministers up there who get dust from doing nothing. I'm sorry, but stop lying about your gifts. Now, I'm about ready to close. Let me make this point. I don't know what I need, but I do know I need Jesus. I don't know what you need, but I do know you need Jesus. You got Jesus, you got everything. The only way for you to stop lying to yourself and be truthful is to get God. He's the only solution. Once you have God as your solution, you will stop lying to yourself and you will know your true self. He is the only one that can show you what he made because he made it. If you want to know who you are, you got to know whose you are. If you don't know whose you are, you will never know who you are. You got to know who you belong to. He paid for you with his blood. He paid for you with a price. So you're not your own. So if you're not your own, you don't own you, then you don't know what you're about. Only through him you would know what you're about. And that's my last point. Again, we're looking for sponsors and we're looking for people to be featured people. I'll let you know, you can go to my website, Corey Wright at wixsite.com/my space. My site, Corey Joseph Wright at Twitter. And Minister Corey Wright on Instagram. Listen, as always, the responsibility is yours. You want to change, you get up and make a change. You don't make a change, Tony T. I love you. Peace. Let the song
People get ready. There's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage. You just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. You don't need no ticket. You just get on board. You just get on board. Get on